Well, tax season opens 1 week from today, and that means you can file your taxes beginning January 29th. And there are some changes you need to know before you file. Gabriel Lewit is the CEO and co-founder of SGL Financial. He joins us now live. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah, glad to be here. And so many changes, every year for tax time, some bigger, some smaller. This year, we've got, of course, an increase to the standard deduction. So every year that goes up, it's up to about $27,700 for a married filing jointly couple here for the 2023 tax year, and about $13,850 for a single filer. There's also some increases, of course, to the brackets as a whole, which we might talk about if we have time here, but also IRA contributions. You can still do those for the 2023 tax year if you haven't done those yet. And then if you have energy efficient improvements to your homes, if you bought an EV last year, a lot of Teslas driving around out there, they seem to be, obviously they froze the other week, but if you've got one of those and you bought those last year, there's some credits up to $7,500 for those that you might qualify for as well if you didn't already get that when you purchased the vehicle.
And that's just about making sure you are reporting all of the ways in which you could potentially have a deduction.
Correct. Yeah. So you want to make sure you organize all your documents, anything you've done last year, contributions, withdrawals, interest statements that you've received. You want to make sure you go in and you grab all those documents. So you're going to get W-2 sent to you in the mail. A big part of making sure you optimize your tax filing for the year is making sure you just got your arms wrapped around everything that you need to file successfully and maximize your deductions.
Alrighty, for those of us with kids, you say be aware there are some changes to those child tax deductions.
Yeah, so there's a child tax credit right now. If you have somebody under 17 in your family, right, a dependent, you can get up to $2,000 credit for that child. And actually $1,600 of that is a refundable credit, meaning you could even get a refund back to you over and above your tax bill being reduced to zero. There are some potential changes legislation right now that might even increase that refundable portion to $1,800, depending on whether or not that gets passed. There's a lot of talk that that will get passed and then be retroactive here for this year, even in 2023, as you go to file your taxes for the 2023 tax year.
That's a good point. Am I remembering correctly, though, we got a much bigger deduction during COVID for our kids?
We did, yeah,
They were worth
and
more
even in a
during
couple of
COVID
years
because
from
we had to
now.
see them so much more.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, some of that has been reduced a little bit. They want to increase that. Actually, the legislation that's being discussed is potentially going to increase that for the 2024 and the 2025 tax years. And then at some point, unless it's extended, it might actually go down in 2026. But hopefully for people out there that really need that child tax credit, it'll be extended and maybe even increased in future tax years.
All righty. And you might find yourself in a different tax bracket this year. Why is that?
Well, so I mentioned just briefly earlier, every year the tax brackets increase because inflation goes up. And so the IRS has increased tax brackets year by year. And what happens, let's say you had $100,000 of income and that tax bracket increases. Well, maybe your income didn't increase quite as much as inflation did. You might find yourself in a lower tax bracket this year, and that can actually put a few more extra dollars back in your pocket.
All righty. Any other good things to know to help ease the pain of tax season?
Well, I think I mentioned it, being prepared is key, right? If you haven't, you can download tax organizers, checklists, talk with your preparer. They might have questions for you to prepare for filing successfully. Make sure you e-file, right? If you want your fastest refund, that's going to be the quickest way to do it. Try to avoid paper. That's going to delay things. Try to make sure you have no mistakes on your tax return so you don't have any delays there. And then that'll put more back in your pocket as quick as you possibly can.
Gabriel Lewit, always appreciate your insight. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much. Yes, you as well.